You can actually be creating impact and say that, oh, we're able to reach 500 girls today. We gave 700 girls pads. But the thing is that what actually changed in the life of those girls? Impact is not just the numbers. It's not just recognition. It is actually creating change. That your presence, you meeting these people actually change something.
Yeah.
Today, I'm honored to be sitting down with Opeyemi Joy, a passionate advocate working at the intersection of global affairs, diplomacy, youth development, and sustainable development.
Concern is very comfortable. It's very easy for us to stay in our space and say, oh, I care about this, make a post about it, feel bad about a problem. But the thing is that after that, you can all go back to your lives and then nothing changes. One major lesson that I've learned in advocacy is that your voice, your opportunities, the knowledge, the influence that you have has been entrusted in you, not just for yourself, but to make somebody else's life better.
Through her advocacy work and commitment to empowering vulnerable communities, she has dedicated herself to creating opportunities for young people and amplifying the voices of those who are often unheard.
Advocacy is not just creating awareness. It's not just going out there to say, oh, we spoke to 500 girls, we gave them pad, we told them how to use pad, we told them to shout, we told them don't let somebody come 2 meters beside you, let there be space. It's also creating a safe space where these girls can be comfortable to talk to you about things. And that's one of the reasons why Odila Foundation created an initiative, the Elder Sister Pamphlets.
Our work with the Odila Foundation is helping children rise above adversity and discover their potential despite life challenges.
I'm so excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be here.
So I'm seeing the great things you're doing with the female child, with girl child. I see that you had like Pad and Purpose event recently. Sometime in May, right?
Yes.
And I see that you give out pads to girls, and that's really impressive. That's amazing. You know, a lot of people have this thoughts and this idea that they want to do this, but they find it really difficult to put actions to it. Sometimes some people then just go with the way go by donating to people who already are advocates and who put actions to these things. I want to ask, like, at what point did you decide that you want to do this, and what gave you that so much courage, to put action into this?
Okay, I'll say that my passion for advocacy started long before I had a name for it. Growing up, I was deeply affected by inequalities. I would see children my age walking on the streets. I would see girls my age, some even younger than me, having children, some already sold off to marriage. And because of this, I saw people with so much potentials, these children, young people, vulnerable communities with so much potentials, but they lack access to opportunity. So basically, what changed for me was that I became restless with just talking about the problem, being compassionate. It's very easy to be compassionate. It's very easy to feel bad about a problem, but not doing anything. So I had to sit myself down and ask myself question, what am I actually doing about this problem? What can I do to be a part of this solution? And then I saw that my voice can create change. My voice has so much value. And one thing about advocacy is deciding not to stay silent, deciding to be audacious and just do it. So yeah.
That's really nice. What does advocacy really mean to you personally? Let's take out what it actually means generally. But what does it mean to you personally?
I'll say advocacy to me is love in action. It is choosing to care so much about someone's reality, somebody that you do not even know. Choosing to care so much about their reality that you decide to be a part of their solution, decide to be a part of solution to the problem that they are facing. It's about dignity, it's about justice, it's about making sure people are seen, valued, and heard. So I'll say that advocacy is not a title to me, it's a responsibility.
Well, I love that statement that it's a responsibility. So you see it as your assignment on earth that you have to do. What was that move for you? What did you see that, that triggered that audacity to move, to take an action? Was there anything?
Yes, I'll say that there were several defining moments. One thing I noticed is that concern is very comfortable. It's very easy for us to stay in our space and say, oh, I care about this, make a post about it, feel bad about a problem. But the thing is that after that, you can all go back to your lives and then nothing changes. Everybody just feels bad at that particular moment and they just go back to their lives. So I think what what did it for me was restlessness. I became uncomfortable with seeing children that had so much potentials wasting away, whiling away. You would see situations whereby what should be a fundamental right. For instance, we have sustainable development goals by the United Nations, and one of the goals is quality education.
Yeah.
Quality education is for everyone, but for some people, they see it as privilege, like something that they see it as a privilege, something that should be fundamental, something that they should enjoy. They see it as a privilege. So I saw people who were told that their dreams did not matter. I saw girls who had potentials but lack opportunity, access, and all of that. So all of this created like a form of restlessness for me, and I decided to move from just speaking, from just feeling bad to action.
Action.
Yes.
That's really nice. You have so much passion for young people, their growth and their development, right? Why is it so important to you?
I think it's very important for young people to develop themselves, find their voice, because it's not just about their voice being heard today, but about shaping the future that they will live in tomorrow. The truth of the matter is that young people have been placed in a position of spectators rather than contributions, as if things like policy, development, social change is something that they should wait to participate in. But the truth of the matter is that decisions being made about education now, being made about development, being made about social development, policy reform, will shape the world that we young people would inherit after these current decision makers are gone. So I think it's only fair that people who are going to live with the outcome of the decisions that are being made now deserve a seat at the table to make decisions too.
So how do you, like you said, they deserve a seat at the table, but
Yes.
are young people willing to be on the table?
Yes, I think we hear it a lot that young people are not passionate enough, because like when we talk about things like this, we often get replies like, oh, it's young people that are not passionate. But the thing is that if you go out there, you actually see young people. You see lots, I know lots of founders of foundation nowadays that are between the age of 20 to 25, 20 to 30, between that age range. So it's not that they are not passionate, it's lack of opportunity, lack of mentorship, lack of access, lack of information, and all of that. So yeah.
I want to give an example. You know how we, the youth, are always clamoring for change in the government and all of that. A lot of us are tired. A lot of us have actually given up, right? Well, what's that one thing you feel like would encourage a young person again to pick up themselves and try and make a change in the society they stay, right? Because, for instance, do not litter the streets, right? You don't litter, but you see people litter, and you've spoken, you're just tired of trying to correct anybody, right? The government, another example. You voted the last time, the person you voted for, you saw that the person did not get into power, right? And you feel like it was rigged and all of that. You don't see your own change being impacted, right? Someone gets tired. People get tired. Like, oh, I'm done. I'm not even voting again. I'm not getting my PVC again. Oh, if they like, let them litter the ground. Let them litter everywhere. It's none of my business, right? How do you think a young person can encourage themselves again to, make social change? Because I see it's something you do, and I don't think you are tired of it. Or you ever get tired of it. Yeah.
So I think one thing I would say to young people is that irregardless, always show up. Because if you decide that, oh, you're tired, you do not want to show up, your silence is not doing anybody anything. Your silence is not helping you. And I'll cite an example, for instance. I think it was Mary Slessor, the woman who stopped the killing of twins. There were times whereby she was discouraged. There were times where it did not work out. She had to go through several stages, had to meet with people. I'm sure at some point she was insulted and all of that, but that did not stop her. So no matter what we're seeing, even though we see that, oh, we're voting and there is no result, it does not mean that because of that we should resort to not voting. It's a sign that you should continue, because you not showing up, you not participating, your silence is not going to benefit anybody. So just show up anyways.
Okay, through your work with Odila Foundation, we see that you have created opportunities for vulnerable children, right? What are some of the stories that have stayed with you the most?
Through my work with Odila Foundation and also volunteering with organizations that are concerned about what I'm concerned. I've heard a lot of interesting stories. Permit me to use the word interesting. Some of which are personal, some of which are not mine to share. But then I think there is a particular story that changed how I saw advocacy and change. We went for an outreach in secondary school and we were speaking to girls. And I remember I came up to take a session on boundaries, sexual assault, sexual abuse, and all of that. And then I was talking to them about speaking up. When things like this happen to you, do not be scared to speak up and all of that. And then a particular girl raised up her hand and then she was like, what if the trusted person is the one assaulting me? What if I talk to my mom about someone assaulting me and then she tells me that it's part of life and this person is helping our family? So basically, that really stayed with me, not because I had an answer to tell her, but due to the fact that for many vulnerable people, it's not just about creating awareness. Some of them are already aware of speaking up. But then the safe space is what is lacking. A lot of people speak out. Some of these girls go and speak out to people. It takes a lot for them to go to speak to people. And then they meet some people and they talk to these people and then they tell them something that makes them not want to speak up again or say things to them that makes them discouraged. So it changed how I saw advocacy. Advocacy is not just creating awareness. It's not just going out there to say, oh, we spoke to 500 girls. We gave them pad. We told them how to use pad. We told them to shout. We told them don't let somebody come 2 meters beside you. Let there be space. It's also creating a safe space where these girls can be comfortable to talk to you about things. And that's one of the reasons why Odila Foundation created an initiative, the Elder Sister Pamphlets. Just like the name implies, it's Elder Sister in form of written form, where we provide guidance, encouragement, and it also has like numbers of mentors that they can call at any particular time. Yes.
Okay, so I just want to add to that as well. I also think aside from sensitizing the children, sensitizing people who have been affected or been abused or who are vulnerable, right? We also need to sensitize the general public so that, like the Elder Sister initiative, I love it a lot. So it also helps to sensitize the general public so that when these people come to you to share their stories with you, you know what to respond with. Yeah. How are you able to manage being a diplomat and also being an advocate?
To me, I think the interests are the same thing. I think they are not separated. They are connected by one thing, people. I studied diplomacy and international relations in school, and I fell in love with global affairs and diplomacy because I was fascinated with how the world works and how decisions made at global level could affect the lives of ordinary people. So whether we're talking about diplomacy, advocacy, or global affairs, the art of the work is the same. It is identifying a problem and working towards providing a solution. So to me, I don't see them as different. I see them as the same interests. It's just that one is on global level and one is local level. Yes.
On a local level. So how did you get to be on the global level? This question is really direct and very personal, right?
How I got to global level is honestly was putting myself out there. I took my social media seriously. I started posting what I do, talking about what I do. And from there, I got opportunities to attend international conference and all of that. So that was how I got to global stage.
Okay, now, follow up with that question. How do you advise a young lady watching this, wants to be a leader, right? How do you advise them on positioning themselves and what should they do better?
Put yourself out there, post your work, post what you're doing. A lot of people are doing so many things, but then they're just keeping it to themselves. And they're always talking about, opportunity, but nobody's going to give you opportunity when they are not seeing that you are doing something. And another thing that I would say is that people need to learn to volunteer more. Volunteer with organizations that are concerned with what you're concerned about. Look for organizations that, if you're concerned about children, education, look for organizations that are solving problems along that side and volunteer. And another thing I would say is that find your community, like-minded people who are interested in what you are also interested in. And then you guys can work together and create impact, because you can actually create impact on your own.
Let's talk about volunteering, right? It's easier said than done, right? Volunteering is takes time, it takes money, it takes strength, right? Imagine you have a 9 to 5 and you still want to volunteer for an orphanage, or maybe you want to teach at an orphanage, and you go to work by 9, you come back at 5, then you then go to the orphanage, maybe from work at 5 to take them extra lessons for maybe 2 hours. That's volunteering. Then you go home, you're tired, you're exhausted, there's no financial reward. I'm sorry to use that statement, but you are spending money because transportation, fuel, and all of that, right? What would you advise someone who is in this position of giving up, or who has not even put their foot into it, right? Because they're already thinking of all these challenges of how do I'm always tired after work, but they really want to help, they really want to volunteer, right? How can they keep going?
I think organizations right now are already understanding that some people actually want to be part of change, but they have jobs and all of that. So there are organizations that have started setting up outreaches during the weekend. So I think they can attend outreaches that take place during the weekend. And then one thing I noticed about most of the volunteer forms that I feel, they always ask for your availability, the time that works for you, when works for you. So I think all of that would be stated, and they can pick what time works for them. So I think it will work for you if you're ready.
So what has leadership taught you about service, influence, and impacting lives?
What leadership has taught me about influence is that influence is not just about being important. It's about being intentional, that your presence in someone's life makes them want to be more, makes them want to do more. And I think what leadership has taught me about service is that service is not charity. It is stewardship. What leadership has taught me about responsibility is that you have to show up anyways. You have to continually pick purpose over comfort, even when it's difficult.
Let's go to your personal life, right? Looking back at everything you have done since you started, right? When you sit back and you look back, how has everything you've done impacted you personally?
How it has impacted me is that I've seen life different. It has made me more compassionate. It has made me more grateful. When you engage with communities, especially communities that are faced with so much challenges, it teaches you gratitude. You are grateful for the relationship, for the opportunity, and everything that you have. And I think one major lesson that I've learned in advocacy is that your voice, your opportunities, the knowledge, the influence that you have has been entrusted in you, not just for yourself, but to make somebody else's life better.
To make somebody's life better, right? Because to be honest, you're not just in this life for yourself alone. Service is actually very important. It's part of life. It's not just about you, yourself. It is very important that you look out for people around you, your neighbors, your colleagues, your brothers and sisters, your family, your church members, your mosque members, like your community. And community is a very important part of life, right? I want to ask you, when you feel like, this thing I'm doing, I'm tired, when you feel discouraged, what is that thing that lifts you up again?
Okay, so I think one thing that lifts me up is that, let me start with saying that if I'm going to give an advice to somebody on where to start or what to do, for instance, I'll tell them to start with something that breaks them, not something that you think you should care about, not something that you think looks impressive, because that emotional connection is very needed, because that emotional connection is going to serve as a fuel. It's going to be what will sustain you when you get tired, when you feel like you're not making progress, when you feel like recognition is not there. So you should do something that affects you, that you deeply care about. And so that picks me up. And another thing that helps me during time of discouragement is that I always go back to stories that I've heard, not because I want to carry the weight, but because it reminds me of the reason why I am here, the reason why I am doing this work. Yes.
That's really nice. Looking at what you've done and what you are currently doing, right? What kind of world are you looking to create? What kind of change are you looking to create for the next generation?
One thing I would like to see in the next generation is creating a space whereby rights which are fundamental are not seen as privileges. Creating a space whereby children's future are not determined by the environment that they grow up in. Their life does not play out because of the type of environment that they were brought up in. That is the type of word that I hope to see. And I also hope to see a world whereby there is youth inclusion. Youths are not just invited to the table, but are given opportunities, given the chance to take responsibility, given the chance to make decisions. Yes.
Okay, let's talk about your outreach. Pad and Purpose, right? What inspired that outreach? And is it something you do yearly?
So I sat down and I was thinking about a project to carry out, and then I was thinking about a place to carry out the project, and then I thought of Badagry, Semeboda, and then I made my research on what are the problems that children are facing in that community. And also, luckily, that month was menstrual hygiene month, so I saw that menstrual hygiene, pad, the whole health issues was something that was taking place in Badagry, and so that was the reason why we carried out that project in Badagry.
In Badagry, how many children were you?
We were able to reach 250 children. We went to 2 different schools and community hall. The community hall, people from the community came together to the hall, and then
what are some transformative stories that you got from the outreach?
There's this particular thing that I heard at the event during Pad and Purpose conference. I think we were talking to the girls about everything, and then a particular girl was like, there's no need for you to talk to us about our bodies, talk to us about sex and all of that we are the ones that want to give out our body. So that really got to me, because in their community, that is the type of mindset, that is the type of norm that is normal in their society. They see the girls there, the girl child, the females, women, they see themselves as objects that they give themselves out to make money. They see their body as a source of money, and they don't have any other thing to depend on. So it's like something that is like a norm to them. And I think that's really sad for children, because during that outreach, we were speaking to children within the age of 10 to 18. So if a child within the age of 10 to 18 should tell you that I'm the one giving out my body, I think that's really sad.
Very sad.
It just shows the reality of what is happening in all this community. And I think people need to start reading more and doing research more, because when we're here, we just feel like, it's just people are just, it's just school, it's just
I also think that people need to start reaching out more as well, and doing outreach more, because I'm sure like 70% of humans want to do this, right?
Yes.
But they've not just created that time, they've not prioritized it. I think people need to start putting all of those in their priority list, that I need to reach out to somebody this month. The way you do your monthly budget, monthly calendars, I think you should also include all of that too. Even if it's our time, we don't have to give finances, right? Even if it's just our time, even if it's our knowledge, right? We should give to our community and make a change in our community. So how did they see the outreach? Were they excited? Were they encouraged about Pad and Purpose? What was that thing that you felt like changed, that shifted by the time you left there? And do you have like a checkup plan? Like, sometimes people need follow up. Like these girls, they need like follow up. Their kids as well. Do you have like a follow-up plan to the outreach?
Yes, we have follow-up plans. Some of them do not own phones. Some of them do not have access to phones. So some of them did not have numbers. And so that's one of the reasons why in the Elder Sister pamphlet, we give them numbers that they could reach out to, that they could get back to. The reality of what we saw in Badagry was that a lot of girls, more than half of the girls in Badagry, I don't want to give an exact number because we did not get to all the places at Badagry, but like a number of them saw pad as something that was very expensive. It was something that they could not afford, and because of that, they resorted to rags, tissue papers, cotton wool, and all of this has side effects on their bodies. They might not see it now, but later on, there's side effect to it, like it affects their fertility rates and all of that. So when we came and they saw the pads, there was this excitement because they really wanted those free pads. So there was this excitement when we're sharing the pads. Some of them were even like, can I get extra? Can I get one? Because it was something that pad, which is something that is meant to be basic, was seen
luxury.
as luxury to them. It was something, and it's just really sad and really disheartening. And because of this, most of these girls miss school because they get to school when they're using rags, they're using tissue paper. After like 2 hours max, they're already stained and they are laughed at and in class. People point at them, they are laughed at, and shame, all of that stigma. And because of that, they believe what society has told them about the girl child, not education, not being for the girl child. So yeah,
I really want us to get to a world where pad is cheap
free safe.
and free. Yeah, pad is cheap, is free. You can get pad anywhere. Like it's free. It shouldn't be paid for. I really wish we can get to that world. What are those things that you're looking to do? What are those projects you're looking to do?
The next projects that we're looking to work on is Pad and Purpose 2, Part 2, because Pad and Purpose, we're supposed to reach 500 girls. That was the goal, but we've only reached 250, so we're hoping to carry out another project on Pad and Purpose. And we're also looking to carry out an outreach for the male child.
Love to hear that.
Yes, it's not only doing outreaches for these ladies, talking to them about say no to this, don't let anybody do this to you. It's also talking to these boys too and teaching them what they should do and what they should not do.
Yeah.
So we also want to carry out a project for the male child, but we have not finalized on that yet. But yeah, we have to do some.
I'm really looking forward to the project for the male child. We have a lot of outreaches for the girl child.
Yes.
We always have a lot of that. But the male child, it feels like they can just figure it out themselves. And we need to carry out those outreach and teach them how to treat the girl child as well. Before we wrap up, it would be nice, where can people find you, connect with you, what platforms, name of account, what are you working on that people can connect with you on?
On LinkedIn, Opeyemi Joy. On Instagram, just Daniel _just Daniel, and on TikTok too, just Daniel. One thing that scares people away when it comes to creating impact is that they see impact as something that is, if it's not this big, if it's not this, yes, you are not creating impact. But the thing about creating impact can just be simply you helping one particular child stay in school, sponsoring the child's education, helping the child stay in school. It could be you talking to a young girl who has potentials and teaching her about confidence, believing in herself and all of that. So impact does not have to be, oh, I reached 500 people, because I think a lot of people, social media has made them see impact as something huge and all of that. But the thing is that you can actually be creating impact and say that, oh, we're able to reach 500 girls today, we're able to reach 700 girls today, we gave 700 girls pads. But the thing is that what actually changed in the life of those girls, sometimes you find out that, oh, you just went there, you shared pad, and after that day they're like still the same thing. So impact is not just the numbers, it's not just recognition, it's not just what social media paints it at. It is actually creating change, that these people, that your presence, you meeting these people actually change something.
Change maker yourself as well, by also doing the right things, right? Obeying the laws, obeying the rules, right? Is also being a change maker. Obey the traffic lights. Don't litter Nigeria. Thank you for honoring our invitation. We are so excited to have you here, and we hope and wish you all the best in all you do. Thank you so much. And you look beautiful, by the way. I don't know if I started with that. I love your colors. They're so cute. Thank you so much. You don't have any question for me, right?
I don't think I have a question.
All right. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode on She Create Podcast. Don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms. And don't forget to listen to this episode on Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, and also on YouTube. Like, comment, share, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. And like I would always say, stay jiggy and stay lit up. Have a beautiful day, night, morning, whatever time you listen to this podcast. Stay jiggy. Bye.